What's up? What's up? What's up? Good afternoon, everybody. Come on in the room. Come on. I'm going to give you some time. Okay, that's enough time. Come on in the room, but do me a favor. Family, do me a favor. As you're coming on in to Poppy's Conversation Corner, I want you to do me the greatest, biggest favor ever that you're going to be asked all week. It's simple. Hit that share button. And let somebody know that we are having a Poppy's Conversation Corner right now. So share. Don't be selfish. Share. But today, family, again, I didn't even say it. I want to welcome you to Poppy's Conversation Corner. It's your boy, Kerry. I'm your host with the most. But today I have the one and the only, Ebony Peak. Phenomenal therapist in the city of Cincinnati. We've called her out. They brought her out. She came on really fast. I didn't even say bring her on, but she's here. So we have today with us Ebony Peak, the therapist who's healing and saving and doing and grinding all over the city of Cincinnati. She's phenomenal. I got to experience her this past weekend like never, ever before. Ebony was on one. I didn't know she was that good of a time. So we got a link outside of Poppy's Therapeutic Corner because she is a good time, y'all. I'm telling y'all. So welcome, Ebony Peak. Hey, what's up?
How are you?
I'm here. Like, do you have some time? How much it's going to cost if I sit on your couch?
Ooh, honey.
No. Ebony, so therapist. That's your title, correct? So how long have you been in the field?
So I have been in the field of social work since 2011, and then I started doing individual therapy right around 2014. So I started doing individual therapy around 2014.
So was this like when I grow up, I want to be a social worker and then go into the field of therapy?
Well,
where did this come from?
So initially, I went to school to be a social worker because I just wanted to be a social worker, right? Therapy was really never on my radar until I got deeper into the field of social work and advocacy and realizing that people like myself don't have people that they can talk to that look like them. And so that's how my journey began. I was introduced to Poppy's from a friend, and that was it.
That's all she wrote. So tell us something though. Who is Ebony Peak? I'm looking for a therapist. I mean, I'm searching. Mm-hmm. If you were to explain yourself, I read your bio plenty of times. I read it to people over the phone all the time. But if you were to tell somebody, tell me about Ebony Peak.
Okay, so I would venture to say that, and people, this is kind of a new thing with people on TikTok. I'm not your typical therapist, right? We obviously we're gonna get to the business. We're gonna get to the work. We're gonna do what we need to do. But I think of myself as a non-conventional type of therapist. Like I don't necessarily, I'm not the one to sit there on the couch like, that's just not who I am. I am who I am. I make sure that people know that I'm creating a safe space. Be who you need to be. There's no, there's no judgment. There's none of that. I don't pretend to know everything. I'm not the expert. So I let my clients know right off the top, you're the expert in your life. I'm the co-pilot. So let's get to the work and just know that, I'm never going to take you anywhere that you don't want to go. But if you take us down that path, we going. There's something down there. So, I typically just am who I am. I don't hold any punches. If you ain't keeping it real, I'm gonna call you out on the carpet about it. If you and that's just who I am. And I think that helps in my rapport building with my clients. Real recognize real.
Yeah, definitely. So like with you being this real upfront, if you will, therapist, like what's been the response? Because I can see a demographic of people like, oh, I like this. That's what I want. I see myself. Like that's the, you know what I mean? But what's been your approach, like, or your response, excuse me, from your like base, your client base?
So usually people are receptive to that. Usually, I've never had someone say to me, "Oh, you too real," or complain that I was too much for them. So most of the clients that I've serviced, they respect it. They respect that I keep it real. A lot of them like, yeah, that's right. Call me out on my stuff, because if you don't, who will? Like, because the whole point is for me to get to the work and to heal. So if nobody's calling me out on my mess, then how do I address it? I've not had anybody complain. So
I love it. So because I know a little bit of your backing on the therapy side of it, but so as long as I've known you in this field, you've been in a sense virtual with your community clients. So you were out, like you would meet face to face in a sense. Like, what is that like experiencing Ebony virtually versus in person?
Well, again, that's back to me being who I am. I am who I am. I'm always going to be professional. I'm always going to be courteous, but I'm never going to be fake, right? And so a lot of what you get with me in person is what you get virtually. I just am who I am.
So with like, okay, so I'm a client, and I'm at home, like, and my kids, which I don't have. Anyway, that was just a side note. But my kids are running around. I'm trying to tell them to be quiet. They keep opening the door. How do you work through that? Like, is that a thing where, like, have you experienced that? Like, maybe I'm putting you in a scenario.
No, I have experienced that, and I usually try to let people know in our first meeting, like, hey, let's try to be in a space where you have a little bit of privacy and you have the ability to really focus on what we're doing, because you're going to get the best benefit that way. But I also recognize that, things happen, right? You at home, you got kids coming in from school, you got, my dog laying right next to me right now. Like, so you got cats, all types of things. So I recognize that a lot of times, I don't give it a lot of attention when, a kid is in the background. If mom is able to, or whoever the client is able to continue to engage me while whatever's going on in the background is going on in the background, then I just typically keep rolling. I do try to reiterate during that session or at the end of the session, like, hey, maybe for next time, let's try to make sure we schedule at a time that's going to be more convenient, where you have a little bit of privacy, a little bit of space for yourself sometimes. So, but ultimately, I just kind of roll however they roll with it. I roll with it. I've had people whose kids like come in like, hey. I kind of follow their lead.
I like it. So, because again, you hit on something earlier a little bit ago, and you said, I don't pretend to know all. I don't I don't come in like I'm the know all, end all, be all type. But what is it like when you're in a session with Ebony, and it's like, I, in a sense, not back you up in the corner, but I approach something, and you like, maybe you don't have the answer. Like, how do you get yourself out of situations like this? Or like, how do you work through situations like that?
I always let my clients know that from the very beginning, this is a partnership. And like I said, I don't have all the answers. So whenever I'm in a situation like that, I let them know, like, hey girl, or hey, I don't necessarily have the answer for that for you right now, but let me consult a colleague, or let me consult some people in the social work community and kind of try to figure out that answer for you. And let me get back to you on that. Is that okay? Like, is that cool? And usually it's not a problem.
I like it. So do you have a preference? Like, what's Ebony's preference? Because I'm your scheduler. I've been your scheduler for years now. And I used to throw them all at you.
Right.
But is there a specific type of, clientele that you prefer to work with? Is there like a male base, a female base, a you know, a what do we want to say, like a trauma based clientele, you know, PTSD situation? Like, is there a specific niche? Or
I don't know that I have a specific demographic. I do know, while I do work with kids, I prefer older kids.
Okay.
I don't, because I'm not really, I'm not a play therapist. So I prefer older kids. But I don't, I think that I've had more experience with, anxiety, depression, trauma, trauma stuff. But I don't typically shy away from any demographic other than the little babies.
Yes. I remember that. I tried to send in my earlier piece. I tried to send them your way. It didn't work. You said no.
Against the babies,
Yes.
I support, but I tend to not have the words sometimes.
For younger. Okay.
Yep.
Got you. So, because you helped me segue into where I was going to go next, because Ebony moved from one sector of the business, meaning community, to school base. And that's why I put on this orange shirt, because isn't this your school colors? No?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So I didn't think you was going to pick up on it, or I thought you were going to pick up on it. But Ebony moved from our community, which she still is community. So if you're interested in scheduling with Ebony Peak, call me right now. 513-7. I was about to give my church number again. I don't understand why my church number is like right there. 513-570-4068. Call us right now. Schedule with Ebony. But so she's in community, but Ebony moved into a different sector. And where are you now? Where can I find you?
School-based therapy. As I said, I don't particularly do the little kids. So I'm in Withrow. Tigers. What?
I'm a bulldog.
You can't get too much. Well, no. I didn't go to Withrow either. So
yeah, okay.
The culture there is good. I formed a lot of good relationships with staff and with students. So I enjoy it. I really do. I didn't, I went into school based with a little bit of hesitancy. I'm not gonna lie. Because I had just, I had only been doing community, and I had only really worked with mostly adults. And I was, like, how will they receive me? What, But I really actually have come to really enjoy it.
Well, if they get to experience what I've experienced this past weekend, I know that they love you. And on top of that, there is a therapist. She's no longer in that location. But if you had Paris, in the same location, I would be like, oh my God, I would never want to go. I would never want to leave school. Like, it was phenomenal. These two together, and I didn't get to experience them both together. I'm just thinking her personality together. Oh my God.
It was a time.
What a time. What a time. What a time. No, what a time. What a time. No, so Ebony, if like you had to you're on the stage now, and you're talking to a crowd of, maybe those who don't desire, but maybe on the border of like needing therapy. What suggestion, what advice, what push would you give these people if you had the opportunity to like sway them? Like,
I personally believe in therapy and self-care, right? I have a therapist. I am a therapist, but I believe that, everybody needs a safe space. I would push them to, go for it. I mean, you don't break a leg and don't go see about it, right? Breaking a leg, it's painful, it's traumatic. Growing up in an abusive household, it's painful and traumatic. So you don't break a leg or break an arm and be like, oh, I'm just now, I ain't gonna go to the doctor. So I would encourage people, go see about yourself. I mean, it could be something as small as, I had a breakup and I'm feeling really sad. To, dealing with childhood trauma. But I believe that everybody can benefit from therapy in some way, shape, or form.
I love it. And you hit on it because I kind of wanted to go there, but thank you anyway for answering. So Ebony, the therapist, has a therapist. Like, so what's that like for you though? Like, is that was that a hard thing? Because I mean, like, That's like pastors going to sit at other people's or another pastor's church and having to sit under their like teaching, and it's like, no, I know that.
Kerry, for a long time, I would not see a therapist because I'm like, I'm a therapist. That's like embarrassing. Like how I, it was hard for me. It was really, really hard for me to recognize like you need to see somebody. And then part of me felt like, I had a great childhood. What am I a therapist for? Like, I also, I lost my mother when I was 20. I was just now becoming a woman. A lot of things occurred. And I grew up with a chronic illness I was born with. So I didn't realize how even as a therapist, how all those things affected my life and how, they had played a part in where I am now in life. So it was hard. It was really hard. But once I took that step, I can't go back.
I love it. I love it. So basically, you heard it from the mouth of the therapist of Cincinnati, Ohio, Ebony Peak. Get help. It's okay. I actually love today, though. Like, I love 2023. 2023 is like amazing to me that people, because I won't put it on a specific demographic of people, but people are seeking help. And I think that's so great. Mental awareness is just becoming so now being put on the forefront, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it. And kudos to you, because your work is not easy. Even so, for me, leaving the community base, not even leaving, but working with the community base is one thing, but going into those schools,
Yep.
I went into prayer for you that fast because it's that serious. You're dealing with a lot. You have a lot on your shoulders. So I give you kudos. And if you're watching right now, I want you to heart this video for Ebony Peak, because it's people like her who are pouring into our future. That's real. Like, you legit are like affecting our future. Like, you're a change agent because you're in there working with a demographic of people that a lot of people don't want to do.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's very fulfilling because the kids themselves will tell you the change that you've made in their life. They will give you that. Like, they will say, Miss Ebony, ain't nobody ever cared about me like this, or I ain't never felt nobody take an interest in me like this. So they will give you the gratification, like, because they love that somebody is interested. They love that somebody cares. They love that somebody is there to listen. So it's been one of the best things I've ever done.
Well, I'm so grateful that they're pouring back into you, giving you that love and support that you need to pour back into them. So kudos to you, like, big ups to you. And from Poppy's Conversation Corner, from the owner, Jen, we are thankful and grateful for you, because it's people like you that help keep us going. So, y'all, again, thank y'all for tuning in. Ebony, do you have anything else to share with us before you go? Like, I know, if again, I put it out there, if you're interested in scheduling with her, call that number, 513-570-4068. Request Ebony Peak. She is the top requested. I'm not lying to y'all. I had to stop scheduling with her because her calendar got so full, and she said I was giving her too many clients. But right now, she could take some community clients. Or do you want? No, we're not going to do this on camera. We're going to talk about this off camera. So anyway, you can schedule with call and visit us on our website at poppystherapeuticcorner.com. Y'all, this was a Poppy's Conversation Corner with the Ebony Peak. Y'all, we're here every week, every Friday at 1 p.m. Join us live. Again, it's your boy Kerry here with Ebony Peak. Y'all enjoy your day. Have a great one. See y'all next week.